All right. Hello, Tellor community. Welcome to the, I think, Tellor Tech call, Tellor community call. Um, Either way, we're going to be going over the fellowship today. A little bit of a deep dive. It's a lot smaller than, say, some other deep dives I've gone over. It's a much simpler smart contract, so it should be a whole lot faster. But first, just to kind of talk about some announcements. Migrations still going really well.
Yep.
Uh,
For everybody who's on IDEX, you're sort of next up in line on the migrations we're doing right now. So hold tight. Make sure you get us your addresses so we can sort of corroborate your balances. But even if you don't, I think we should be well on our way to having you guys migrated over in the next few days. So.
Yep. So thanks for your patience there.
And also Poloniex reached out to us and they're going to begin working on their migration process. I don't know who's actually using Poloniex, but if you are, never fear. I think we're working with them to get them migrated over as well.
Yeah, big thing, like if you're using one of these exchanges that hasn't migrated, like it's mainly on them to do it. But a lot of times, like, reach out to us if we haven't said anything, but mainly reach out to them because they can usually do it. They're just not doing it for some reason.
Yeah, or maybe they don't get the problem at first, and so they just want to
takes a while.
Ask us a couple questions, and yeah.
Other than that, some things we're working on. We're obviously all kind of, luckily the migrations piece is not taking up the vast majority of our time now, so we're back into kind of development mode. A lot of us are. I'm working right now on just the Tellor fixes. So we're going to be doing another upgrade on Tellor probably over the next, probably in like a month would be my rough timeline. But we're adding back in the upgrade pieces so we can just fully decentralize ourselves again. And if you're following along the repo changes, everything's public. Feel free, help me test it, help me audit it. We're going to be using some external people this time to take some looks at it, and we're going to make sure that everything is nice and secure. So also, we did write a post-mortem that came out yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So if you were just kind of wondering what had happened and why there was the token migration, this is a great read, and it also shows kind of how it's shifted a lot of our vision moving forward. So anything else as far as announcements would go? The meme contest, should we announce that?
Well, that's unofficial.
Oh, it is. Well, Spuddy's
that's
here, so
yeah,
Spuddy wants to
Spuddy.
say about the meme contest. Spuddy's running the meme contest if you want.
I thought about retweeting it but I thought maybe tweeting out the post-mortem immediately followed by the meme contest. So I held off. Sorry, Spuddy.
Yeah, so Spuddy is running a meme contest for Tellor. It's a fun thing, run by one of the community members. So thanks for doing that. And yeah,
get your memes in.
Get your memes in. You can win some TRB, which is doing well. The price is sort of uncorrelating itself from a lot of things, which is always great to see. Okay, so that's kind of it. Don't think we have too many more events coming up, but at least in the short term, I think May is probably whenever most of the events really kick off. And we'll keep you updated on those. So the fellowship. So a lot of you reached out to me after we actually posted the announcement for this call, as far as like, oh man, like never heard of you working on the fellowship, even though it's a repo that's 6 months old. What is it? And the basics of the fellowship are, so we sort of realized the limitations of the Tellor system. So right now, Tellor, as far as an Oracle is concerned, is only available on Ethereum. It's only available for numeric data, and it's relatively slower. These are all things that we want to fix in the future. We want to sort of eventually, come up with the ultimate Oracle system that in a super fast way secures everything and secures all of humanity with a blazing fast secure Oracle. But that's sort of a really big technical problem, and we're working on sort of solving it kind of slowly. We built something the way we did now because we can build that with the current technology in a decentralized way. And what we're going to work on is sort of building out capabilities as time goes on without sacrificing that decentralization. But the fellowship is kind of the opposite approach to it, because we actually have a lot of parties who are reaching out and they want to use Tellor on, say, Binance Chain. They want to use Tellor on some really popular ones include ZK rollups, optimistic rollups. These are just new things that are popping up because the gas prices are so high on Ethereum. And we need to be able to support them. So we can't natively support them. You know, we're actually working on being able to support them, and the next iteration of Tellor will be able to. But at the moment, it's sort of limited. You know, if you have a really fast ZK rollup, even if you could read prices from Ethereum, you don't have to pay on-chain gas prices. You don't want to have to read values from Ethereum every single time. So there's some issues with just how well it fits. And we were thinking originally, you know, if you guys remember back a year ago, we were talking about the alternate chain structure. So the one that we were originally planning on putting on Matic was, you know, a more custom built one for the Matic chain. And it can sort of read Tellor values and as a fallback system. And that was a really good model. But what we're actually seeing is that one was even too limited. It's almost too early in the whole L2 alternate chain race to really even pick a winner or which one is going to succeed. It's, you know, if we could, you know, if we were 100% certain that Matic was going to be where 99.9% of all L2 stuff lives, you could easily just build like the alternate chain system and then, or Tellor 2, and everything works out great. But at least from the requests that we're getting from users, it doesn't seem like that. It seems like there's almost no standardization at all amongst what L2s people are going to. So we need to build a structure that's flexible enough. How can we help out these random chains that they want to use Tellor? They like our philosophy on decentralization, and eventually they believe in our ability to get there, but we want to be able to help them out now. And that's, here comes the fellowship. So the idea of the fellowship is actually a really simple one, mainly because it's very similar to what Maker and Chainlink both do. We're just sort of adding in a little bit what we like to call more transparency and decentralization, which you know is, so if you guys aren't aware, the way that Maker's oracles or Chainlink's oracles, you know, they can sort of work on other chains natively because it's just a trusted group of signers. You have, say, 10 people. These are your trusted parties. They can sign prices and put them onto another, and put them into your smart contract. There's nothing that limits those 10 people from also putting it on a Binance Chain smart contract or on a Matic smart contract. It's just 10 addresses that are chosen ones that can sign. So the idea behind the fellowship was, how do we create, okay, how do we, in a transparent and decentralized way, select chosen ones? Obviously, we chose the name of the fellowship based upon
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. You know, as far as chosen to save the world. And this is kind of what the basis of our smart contract is. It's basically just a list of addresses that are chosen to be signers on, say, other chains, or they can perform kind of any service. All it is a list of addresses that can perform these arbitrary functions. What arbitrary functions they're going to be performing and everything like that, that's actually not even specified on chain. That's all specified off chain. You can sort of make an agreement with them. And the way that the whole thing works, though, is how the decentralization part, where it's, say, different than, say, a Maker or a Link, is how do you sort of select them and how do you slash them? So that's always the difference. So we call them walkers. So this is another Lord of the Rings reference. There are the Dark Riders versus the Walkers, which are the good guys.
It's actually a pretty obscure reference. I think they're mentioned.
That's why I
said as
said
the Walkers, like maybe once.
Yeah, but so we're the good guys, obviously, and the walkers are these selected few, and you become a walker by getting voted in. So there's a voting contract, which we call Rivendell, obviously, because that's where they chose
That's where the fellowship was formed. Yes.
And The way that the voting works is we split it up. The weightings may change at some point in the future, but the current weightings are going to be who gets to vote on, say, what actions, whether to slash a walker, whether to add a new one. And it's going to be, you have 40% of the vote is based on the walkers. So there's going to be an initial 3 walkers that are selected so that they and any walkers subsequently added get 40% of the vote. The other 20% of the vote is TRB holders. So that's you guys. You guys are sort of the tiebreakers in this whole scenario. You guys can vote if you would like. And then another 40% is actually the users of the fellowship. And how do we sort of say who the users are? And that's actually who is paying them. So within the fellowship smart contract with the list of addresses, it also can accept payments and it distributes them amongst the chosen people, the fellowship. And the reason that you would want sort of payments for these things is, you know, we're not going to be sort of like, we don't want to set up something like Chainlink where it's, you know, we pay other people to use us. Like we want it to ultimately be, you know, people are paying for a service and the walkers are doing it. And then they go and they enter prices on some smart chain. And then if, say, there is a dispute or let's say the walkers aren't living up to their expectations, the users or some other party can say, hey, they're not living up to their expectations. We're going to vote to slash the walkers. And then using those same rankings, there would be a vote on whether or not a given walker, say it was just one walker was misbehaving and pushing bad prices, he could get slashed, he could get removed from the fellowship, different actions like that. It's a really, really simple, small structure as far as it's just a group of addresses and a certain party of people can vote on whether or not to slash them or remove them or add them. But we think it's one that's sort of more flexible. It's obviously way more flexible than the current Tellor system, but is also more transparent than, say, like, you know, Maker's process for their oracles is, you know, they select them themselves. You know, they do some voting, but it's not necessarily clear how it all sort of works in letting these people on. It's still very centralized and sort of opaque. And I think with Chainlink, sort of the same sort of agreements, whether it's these off-chain agreements that people are writing and signing, it just doesn't necessarily fit with the space. It is sort of the centralized, more trusted model. But a lot of people, you know, that we've spoken to, you know, especially say like on the Binance smart chains of the world, you know, they actually, believe it or not, people using Binance smart chain don't give us pushback on the decentralization piece of this. You know, it's just not something that's on their mind. You know, they just want the product out there, and this is something that can sort of allow us to deliver on it while we work to get Tellor into something that can natively provide them the prices. So, long story short, the big thing that we want you guys to take out of what the fellowship is would just be, you know, Tellor can sort of do a lot more now. Whereas, you know, in the past, we were really specifically looking for these Ethereum projects who mainly DeFi focused, you know, which was sort of a really good, nice call, I guess, over the last year. But, you know, moving forward, we see probably a lot of people are just going to move to these arbitrary L2 contracts, maybe even roll their own L2 contracts, but that's okay. If we use the fellowship currently, we can start supporting them right away. Mm-hmm. We can get them some prices. We can get people moving away and starting to use Tellor, and that's where we see the real bang coming through. So
it's not a replacement for Tellor.
Not a replacement.
It's not a deviation from what we're trying to achieve with main Tellor and what our vision is for that and how we're going to improve that. It's a bit of a Tellor B, like a B squad, or you know, even a bit of a stepping stone. It gets people into the Tellor umbrella, gets the relationship, it gets us providing prices, or the fellowship providing prices for them. One thing we did notice is that people are, you know, they're fast moving. They want to get something out there and they want to get prices, even if they're not super decentralized at first. And they'll work towards it eventually. So how can we fill that gap and work with them already in relationship with them? So that's what the fellowship's going to do.
Yeah, so some things that we could ask from you guys. So go reach out to these other projects. Definitely let them know about Tellor, get the relationship started there. Also, if you're, if you're comfortable automating a lot of these prices and you have quite a lot of TRB to stake or something like that, you're sort of a bigger community member and you'd want to be a walker, reach out to us as well. We're trying to select some of these initial walkers. So we would love to get to 9. 9's kind of the sweet number that, Tolkien, I guess, selected for us. So probably go after that. But, initially it'll probably just be smaller, a little bit more run by the Tellor team. But eventually what I would
We need a Gimli. Who's going to be Gimli?
Yeah. Eventually I would love to see it almost not run by the Tellor team at all. Like it's run by a sort of a group of kind of community members and even larger users and things like that. So
you can just be the wise Gandalf, who's just sort of not really part of the fellowship.
Totally Legolas.
No, that's it. He's in there. He's a walker.
Have we decided how big? Have we decided how big will be the stake to become a signer? I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't yet. So we were initially going to peg it at just 500 TRB, the same as to be a miner on Tellor. And then I think it's one of those things that we can always increase it. So if you can increase the amount later, and I think it's going to be how much flow is kind of going through there. If the payments into the system are, say, pushing out, you're only making 1 TRB a month off of payments from this thing, like a 500 TRB stake is plenty large enough. But if let's say that 50 projects are using it and these guys are making 200 TRB a month each, you can probably bump it up and you're going to want them a little bit more sort of invested in this whole process. So yeah.
And the way I see it, this to work is, if I'm a user, I'm the one who will be setting how much reward each signer gets on a price submit, right?
Well, yeah, I think so. You would sort of have to agree on that with the fellowship beforehand. So these would probably be sort of more off-chain negotiations. Like you can't just say like, hey, come throw prices on my chain, every 2 seconds for the next year for 1 TRB. Like that's not going to work. Depending on the workload, the fellowship will probably say like, listen, like if you want, a price once a day pushed on, we can do that for a low price. But, if you want us consistently monitoring your smart contracts and pushing updates really, really fast, if there's any sort of deviation in a price, then yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit more, kind of just like any sort of service agreement would look. And the way that I sort of see it envisioned is that would sort of be, so we allow a way for you to sort of set arbitrary information for each of the walkers, and you could sort of store these agreements on IPFS and then hash it that way. If there is sort of some sort of dispute, and the TRB holders are like, well, what happened? We can all go look at, hey, this was the contract that they signed. It's on IPFS. We can all sort of agree on the fact that they did not live up to their side of the agreement, or they did live up to it, or this was unrealistic or something like that.
Okay, so if I'm a user and I'm interested in the, let's say, total volume locked, what's the total volume locked? I need to put some TRB in the fellowship contract. And
you would want to reach out.
How would the reward be?
Agreement about what exactly people are doing. Because with these custom things, like you can't just like deposit TRB and then hope that somebody does something with it, because the problem is that you don't know, the fellowship doesn't know what you want it to do. So you have to tell it like, I need you to place this price on Binance chain in this specific contract address once a day. Or I need you to provide, updates on our ZK rollup if there's a price change on these 5 assets of more than 1%. Like those would be things. And so we would, as the fellowship, the members of the fellowship would get together and they'd be like, all right, this is good, we can probably use Tellor software to do most of this, but how long is this going to take to automate? How much effort and cost is it going to be in terms of just gas fees, and then we'd sort of come up with a cost for it and give it to them, and then if they like it, they put it in the contract and start paying us, and then we go from there. So that's the way I envision it. Happy if you have any other ideas, let me know. I think it's, you know, a relatively easy way to do like service agreements or decentralized service agreements. It's just like a weird thing to say.
But that service agreement, will it be enforced in the contract? Like when you submit, you get the reward right away, or how would the signer will be getting the reward?
No, so you can't really do, so like the way the signers would be getting the reward would just be like they get paid from the, so if like, let's say the user would pay into the fellowship contract, and then the way that we have it written now is the payouts are sort of slowly dispersed over 6 months to the walker. And then they would, so it would be like a 6-month payment. And then if they continue to pay, then we'll continue to provide prices.
All right. So it's not sort of based on every submit, it's sort of based on like a period of time, like gradually
Yeah, so you would have to sort
releasing the rewards.
Yeah, and it can be flexible too. But cool. Do we have questions, by the way?
We have one glorious question
Okay.
that I don't know where it's coming from, but apparently there's a rumor that Tellor is partnering with Toshiba. So I don't think there's any truth to that rumor. I'm sorry. As much as Toshiba is a great electronics manufacturer, I don't really think it's a good fit for us. But who knows? Maybe Toshiba's working on something that we're not aware of. So, oh, this is from the tribe. Spuddy, get these guys reined in a little bit. These rumors are a little bit off the wall. But I'm sorry, no Toshiba partnership.
Yes.
We're working on it though.
We'll be sure to reach out to them. And then, yeah.
Maybe SpaceX one day, but Toshiba most likely never, right?
Yeah, correct. More chance for SpaceX,
But,
I think, than Toshiba.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's about it. Martin, thanks for joining right at the last minute. And then Lamont, thanks for coming. Lamont's actually looking, he runs X Liquidity. It's a great project out there. They're starting to implement Tellor. So thanks for coming on the community call.
Yeah. No, and congratulations, guys. You guys have a lot to look forward to. So, and we're just happy to be a part of the community, my friend.
Is there any place you want to point anybody to while you're here?
Yeah, sure. Just if you want to take a look at the X Liquidity Discord, we're really going to be talking about our launch, which should be soon. So yeah, X Liquidity's Discord, building a good community, and glad to be a part of Tellor's community.
Cool. Yeah, send me the link. I can throw it in the call. So, but yeah, thanks for coming. It's always great to have people actually come to the community calls and be a part of it. So, awesome, guys. Looking forward to next week's, and
all right.
Enjoy your week. See you.